Hello, it is Mac here, and today I'm going to talk about the CEO system and the warehouse system and how the whole organization sort of buying and selling system works in GTA Online. So there's going to be a lot of information in this video, and I want to go through most of it and talk about how much money you can get as a CEO if you are, using your warehouse effectively and, you're stealing drugs and jewelry and stuff like that, and you're selling it later. And I also want to talk about how you can become a CEO, and that's actually pretty simple, and I will be talking about that in this video. So, first off, I want to talk about how to become a CEO in GTA Online. Now, the way you become a CEO is by essentially just buying a headquarters. Now, if you want to go buy a headquarters, go to Dynasty 8 Real Estate, and then whenever you go there, it will have like this sort of ad, even whenever you pull up your phone, like right now, and this will probably change in the future, but it has like a sponsored ad in the middle, and if you click on that, it will take you to a page that has 4 different headquarters. Now, the 4 different headquarters are all in Los Santos, and they're not too far from each other, and the price on them changes from the lowest one is $1 million to the Maze Bank one, which is about $4 million. And really, you don't need a Maze Bank one. You don't need to go any higher than the $1 million one. There's pretty much no change except for views, how high you're up, and the location. So the lowest one, which I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but the one that's $1 million, it's pretty much the exact same as the Maze Bank one, even though it's, probably about half the size. And so, sure, it's not as luxurious, it doesn't look as cool, it's not as iconic, but if you are trying to save money, then try and maybe not even buy something like the Maze Bank or any of the other ones that are like 2 to 3 million, and just go with the lowest one. Now, this is, of course, if you do want just to maximize your profit. If you have millions and millions of dollars, sure, go right ahead for the Maze Bank one, or, any of the higher offices, but keep in mind that you're not really going to be gaining anything aside from, you may look a little cooler, you're going to get better views and stuff like that, but other than that, there's not really any real reason to actually buy something like a higher end office. So I suggest just go with the $1 million one. Also, as for what upgrades you should put in, there's really not an upgrade that is worth the money in my opinion. The only one I could kind of see is the weapons locker. That does have a use, but the other ones, like the accommodation, it's kind of cool, but if you're going into like the $1 million one, it's right next to another apartment that you could buy for much cheaper than going with the accommodation, and it's really not worth it in my opinion. You get like one extra room, maybe you could get a bed, but there's not really much reason to actually have a bed because sleeping in GTA doesn't really do anything. It may look nicer, but for the most part, there's not much reason to actually have the accommodation, especially because it costs like $700,000, $800,000, something like that. Same with the safe. The safe, while it may look cool, and you may look cool whenever you have all your money in it, it doesn't really have a purpose, or at least I haven't seen a purpose. Maybe there's some purpose for it that I'm just not realizing and I haven't seen, but I don't really think that there's actually an actual good purpose for it. And sure, it may look cool, but if you're talking about, saving money here, probably don't even buy the safe, don't buy the accommodation, and maybe don't even buy the weapons locker. The weapons locker is a little bit different. It costs quite a bit of money, $500,000, but it does have a purpose, so, think about that. And as for, like, your interior design and stuff, you can just go with the base. The base, in my opinion, doesn't look too bad. And, you can upgrade it later as well once you start getting more money. And honestly, like, if you're just looking for warehouses and you're just trying to get money, probably don't go all out with your office. Maybe try and get money and then, start low with the $1 million one and just, go bare bones. And then maybe eventually once you start getting more money, go up higher into the more expensive offices and start, trying to make your office look nice and stuff like that. One reason why you do actually want to save money is for your warehouses. Now, your warehouses will not be free. They won't give you a warehouse for free, and they actually do cost quite a bit of money. Now, there's 3 different tiers for your warehouse. There's small, which usually goes about $200 to maybe $400,000, and those hold 16 crates. So there are medium tier warehouses, and those cost about $900,000 to $1 million, and those will hold 42 crates. And then there's, at the top, there's the large warehouses, which will hold 111 crates, and those go from anywhere from a little under $2 million to $3 million. So quite a bit of money for all these warehouses. I would suggest probably go with medium. I mean, it depends on how much money you have. I'd suggest probably go with about 2 mediums instead of just going 1 large. What's actually best is to buy at least 2 warehouses. Now, after you do a warehouse job, and after you deliver it, there was actually like this timer, which is about 4 to 5 minutes. I'm not sure the exact number, but it seems to be about there. Which, whenever you usually get back to your apartment or your office, it will usually be about 2 to 3 minutes left if you get there fast enough. So what you can actually do is if you have 2 or more, I think you can have more. I'm not sure on that, but I think you can have more. And if you have more than 1, then pretty much you're almost never going to get that cooldown because you deliver 1 to an area, then you just switch to the other one and you should be good. But just keep that in mind as well. So, depending on, how much you're going to do your CEO stuff, that's what warehouse you want to go and buy. Now, as for how much money you'll get, honestly, warehouses and the warehouse system and like this entire CEO buying and selling system is probably not the best way to get money in GTA Online. It's not the most efficient way. You can get quite a bit of money, but you're going to spend a lot of money. So, for each crate in your warehouse, it will be $10,000. So, each crate is $10,000, but it increases the more you sell at once. So, if you only sell one, $10,000. However, if you sell a full warehouse, it's going to increase over time. And I'm not sure how much it increases, like, individually. It seems to be like it doesn't increase by a set number. It seems to be it go over time increases. So, if you sell a full large warehouse, it's going to be double the amount as if you just sold each and every one individually, which would also take a long time to do. And it's also better to sell them all at once because there's actually like a cooldown. Whenever I checked, it was about 10 to 15 minutes, but it may be more. So, it's actually better to sell in bulk, sell your entire warehouse because you're not only going to get more money, but you're also not going to have to deal with that cooldown. So, selling individually, it's not great. So, if you have a full large warehouse which holds 111 crates, if you sell all of them at once, will give you $2,220,000. So double the amount as if you sold them individually. Now, the best way to get a profit off of this would be to do 1 crate at a time. Now, that would take a long time. A very long time, actually. Multiple hours. Because if you do a large warehouse while doing 3 crates at a time, which will take 37 times, you're going to have to do that 37 times to fill it up, you will be spending $6,000 per crate. So you're only going to be getting $4,000 per crate in profit for like an individual crate. So let's say you do that and you fill up your entire warehouse, you will be losing $666,000, and so you will be only getting a profit of $1,554,000. Now, that also does not count the money that you're going to spend on ammo, on Lester calls if you are going to do that, on vehicles, if you want to call some Pegasus vehicles and stuff like that, if your vehicles get destroyed. And also, the chance of you getting all your crates in a good amount of time and not losing any for a 111 crates, because you have to be in a public session to do this, is very, very slim. It really is. I mean, you're probably going to lose a few crates here and there, maybe by your own doing or somebody who kills you and blows them up. Keep that in mind. You're not really going to be getting, unless you're like the best, CEO organization out there, you're not really going to be getting, 3 crates each and every time. Sometimes you may, but overall, if you're going to get, do that 37 times, you're most likely not going to get 3 crates each and every time. So the best way to actually get money would be to do each one individually. So if you do 1 crate at a time, which will take a lot longer, but if you do 1 crate at a time, you will be only spending $2,000 per crate, because it's only $2,000 and you get a $10,000, which is in profit per crate of $8,000, which is better than the $4,000 you'd get by doing 3. And overall, if you sell all of them, a full large warehouse where each and every crate only costed you $2,000, so if you did them individually, you will be getting a profit of $2 million with a loss of $220,000, which is a $400,000 to $46,000 saved if you went with each crate being 3 times. So if you did that 37 times, which is how many times it would take to do each and fill up a large warehouse with 3 crates at a time, you're going to be losing $446,000 compared to if you just did it individually. The thing is that individually will take a lot longer. Now, if you do these, which will probably take you about, on average, maybe 5 minutes if you're good, and if you do them correctly, it will probably take you on average maybe 5 minutes each time. Now, if you do that 37 times, that's going to be spending 3 hours of your time to fill up one large warehouse, and you will get a $1,554,000 profit, which, if you think about it, isn't really that great. I mean, $1,554,000, that's good as a profit, but 3 hours to fill up that warehouse, you could probably do a lot other things and, be good. I don't feel like this should be your, one and only money-making method in GTA. I think it can be something good on the side, every now and again, do a crate, and steal some items and stuff like that. However, if you are going to spend 3 hours just to get $1,554,000, and who knows, maybe something will go wrong, maybe whenever you're delivering the $1,554,000 worth of, goods and stuff, who knows, maybe you'll lose the job and you'll lose all that money. So, really, it's not that great, actually. You can get a bit of money. It's not the worst way to make money in GTA, but it's also not the most efficient. I'd say, if you are gonna, get like a full squad together, probably just go do some heists. Go do some, VIP work and stuff like that. Over time, while you may not get as much money in one, specific time, in one instance, you're gonna get a lot more money in the long run. Whereas with here, you're gonna be making a bit of money, but it's just gonna take a long time. And also, you're gonna spend a lot of money on warehouses. You're gonna spend a lot of money, even, on the CEO office, and also on just the specific crates and stuff. So you do have to pay money for the crates, but hopefully this cleared up some things about the CEO system. Hopefully this tells you, how much money you can make if you do these correctly. And keep in mind, these are all pretty much averages. It may, it may take you less than 5 minutes to do 3 crates at once. That depends on how efficient you are as a CEO. And, how good your associates are as well. Do you want to spend millions and millions of dollars to become a CEO and to have these warehouses and stuff whenever you may not even make your money back that fast? Over time you may, but just keep that in mind. You will need quite a bit of money up front, whereas with a heist you only need maybe $200,000 for a setup cost for like Pacific Standard and stuff like that. And also, your bodyguards. Also, your associates don't really get that much money as well. I'm not sure exactly how much money they get, but I've heard that they don't really get much money, so keep that in mind as well. A heist, everybody gets paid pretty much, aside from the setups with the leader, but the leader gets more money in the end. So just keep that in mind. I hope this video helped. Let me know your thoughts. Do you think that the CEO system is good money? Do you think that it's bad? Do you think that they should increase it? Let me know your thoughts on that in the comments. Hope you enjoy. Feedback is appreciated. I'll see you guys in the next video.